We've got problems: water scarcity and quality, severe weather, and an economic crisis. But there's an affordable solution to all of these. As our human populations expanded and our cities grew, we cut down trees and poured concrete to create our streets. Now, most of the land in LA is impervious. When it rains, there are few places for the water to soak in. Instead, it runs through streets, past the trees, picking up pollution and carrying it into storm drains, which flows to rivers and the ocean, wasting the water we so desperately need and costing us several $100 million a year. To replace the water that's being washed away, we've engineered massive systems of canals and pipes to transport water to our urban centers. At first, the water came from nearby mountains, lakes, and rivers. But as our cities have grown, we've had to go further and further to find our water. For LA, water's pumped and piped from throughout the southwestern United States, draining those areas and costing our city hundreds of millions of dollars each year. And pumping that water to Los Angeles is our state's single largest use of electricity, and that contributes to climate change. To manage our water needs, we created separate agencies for water supply, flood control, air and water pollution, waste management, soil conservation, and energy. And because those agencies operate independently, the systems they build often compete and conflict and hemorrhage money. At the same time, our water, energy, and waste systems are aging and beginning to deteriorate and break down. To fix them, agencies are planning to spend billions, much of which will be used to replace our failing roads. The wisest designers learn from nature, which has spent millions of years of R&D creating a viable whole systems model. When our agencies collaborate, it makes it economically feasible to adapt homes, buildings, and landscapes. We know this retrofitting can be done because it has been done over on Elmer Avenue. Neighbors got together with nonprofits and government agencies and planned together a solution that saved money, created jobs, and created sustainability. The street was ripped up and we installed a huge infiltration gallery. That's 2 large pipes loaded with holes. The water flows through, the water comes out the pipe into gravel and then down into the aquifer, the region's water table. The result is a healthier street, and this process significantly saves money in the long run because it makes the street part of the whole city's water system. The second strategy was to address all the homes on the street, to capture all the water, clean it, sink it back in the ground. Before retrofitting houses, when rain comes down, it is directed into the driveway. That water picks up waste and adds to the contaminants in the neighborhood streets, which then pollutes our rivers, beaches, and ocean. With the retrofitting of homes, now when the rain falls, the water is carried by the roof rain gutters and then redirected into a cistern or rain barrel. And if that water overflows, it soaks into a sponge-like, water-efficient rain garden that replaces grass lawns. If there's overflow from the garden, the water moves into permeable driveways, walks, and other surfaces. Or the water is captured by a driveway trench drain, which conveys it to a swale. A swale is a creek-shaped structure consisting of rocks, mulch, climate-appropriate plants that all work together. The swale collects and cleans any overflow from the paved surfaces. And trees are planted around the swale along with the plants and mulch. And the tree does what trees do everywhere. It's the big sponge to put the water underground. Once a swale is filled to its capacity, the water flows out onto the street, and it comes in to this curb cut and on into the swale, where it encounters the rocks, the mulch, the roots, and the plants, where it's slowed, it's filtered, and slowly infiltrated into the groundwater. Anything that overflows comes on out this curb cut back into the street and flows down to the next curb cut, where it joins other rainwater that has fallen onto the street and flows into and is absorbed by the swales further down the block. By doing this, we can capture every drop of water that hits a hard surface and use it to sustain our ecosystem. By saving water in this way, we save money and create local jobs in manufacturing, installing and servicing all the components of the functioning community forest and watershed. Imagine doing this citywide.